Jeff, of course, Mike Lubie Lubitz, and it's always a pleasure to have this gentleman on the program because he's a good man and a great commentator as well, and was a terrific football player at both Penn State and in the pros with the Miami Dolphins. The great O.J. McDuffie joins us here on the show. The Dolphins are fast as hell.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, if this guy McDaniel has this innovative kind of Bill Walsh extrapolation that also involves a running game, and these offensive weapons obviously fit the puzzle very, very well, it could be very interesting to see a team just outspeed other teams. Just curious if this was ever offered to you in any kind of promotional thing or charitable effort, because I was a big fan of when like a football player would race against a thoroughbred racehorse. Bullet Bob Hayes did it, and I think he might have beat the horse. Skeets Nehemiah, who, wow, where did he get his hands from? Nehemiah. Was that
oh,
the
man, I don't know. It's for Roberto Duran. You got to put Roberto Duran.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
On a very fine Tuesday, a pleasant good morning, everybody. Good to have you with us here on the Defo Show on South Florida Live, our new channel. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, Mr. Entrepreneur. I created a channel overnight, and I don't know that it's an overnight sensation, but so far so good. Very happy to have you guys with us and finding us here on the show, the Defo Show, with you every morning on Eastern Standard Time from 7 to 9, and many, many things to discuss here. I had a nightmare last night, though, Lubie, that Lipschitz called me and in a very, I mean, you would say unpleasant tone, said, this is Louis DeLip Lipschitz, who was at one time my attorney, then became my bookmaker. And now he's dead to me pretty much, except he calls me in this nightmare that I was having and says, hey, you got my money? You're going to meet me Monday? Graveyard, 10 o'clock. I said, Louis, man, those days are gone, man. I don't bet with you anymore. He says, yeah. You may not think so, but you don't remember. You called in a bet. You wanted to bet against the Yankees every game this year. I don't remember doing that. Well, what are you talking about, Lipschitz? I mean, you're making this up. He said, no, I got it right here. You wrote it down. You must have been buzzed at the time. Imagine that. You're betting against the Yankees every game. How difficult of a season was that?
That'd be bad.
They have already won 50 games. They're playing at a 750 clip, and you're going against them every game. You would be getting some nice odds. So on the games that they lost, you would at least be making a little bit of a score. But I think that tallies about 15 games so far this season. So remarkable start for the New York Yankees. Already being compared. I don't know. I mean, does anything compare to the 27 Yankees? This is a different era of Major League Baseball. Garrett Cole, who had that horrible start when the season began. Remember, he coughed up a bunch of runs, and then not that long ago, I guess it was 2 starts back, he gave up 5 home runs in a couple of innings. And you thought, what's up with this guy there for $500 million? But pitches no-hit ball into the, I think he might have even gone into the 8th inning last night. He might have gone 7 1/3, something like that, of no-hit ball for the New York Yankees, and they come out with another triumph. So I don't know, maybe that sparked the nightmare, that was the final thing I saw in a crawl before I finally passed out last night. And, next thing you know, you're thinking, not really smart. If there was anybody that was doing that this year, though, it would have been me. It would have preseason move. Every game, I'm going to bet them to lose. I didn't think they made all these genius moves in the offseason, did you? I mean, did it really seem like they were going to be that good this year? Or if anything,
I don't know.
You had late acrimony. It didn't seem to impact Aaron Judge's season at all. If anything, served it as a motivational point. But the fact that he thought that Cashman was stiffing him with $217 million, I don't know if he thought that or who advises Aaron Judge, but it surely looks like he made the right call. Not to mention your wife there in the beginning of the show here, Lubie, but it really does look like Aaron Judge is going to make a big score. Unless, of course, he gets injured, which brings up an interesting prop bet. Would you have bet Manny Machado to win the MVP in the National League, Lubie?
Oh, wow. I didn't know he was playing that well. Okay.
Well, he's injured now. I mean, he took like a really one of those bizarre NBA ankle-twisting spills. He looked like Zverev. In the tournament against Nadal when he lost in the semifinals in the French Open, where the guy like rolled an ankle and you thought, oh my God, that's going to take a while to heal up. Or when you had Steph Curry on the ground and who was it that fell right on top of him? Smart, right? Was it Smart that dove right on top of him? One of the Celtics, anyway. And you thought, okay, Curry's going to be out for a couple of games, but he came right back and played. Machado was running to first base, and his foot fell flat on top of the bag as he was running, trying to beat out a ground ball, which. Think about that for a second. A Major League Baseball player running hard to try and beat out a ground ball, that doesn't happen that often anymore. Usually the guy's posing at home plate and, standing there like a stiff while the ball is being bobbled several times and then thrown away, and somehow he's out at first base. But he lands flat on a bag, and then his foot slides on the bag, and he rolls over it. Now, he was leading the league in hitting, I believe, at 328, the National League. Home runs, he had, I think, 12, which is not a big number. Right now by the standards of the way the season is going. And I'm sure he had a reasonable number, like 40-plus in RBIs. 9-1 on Machado to win the National League MVP. What do you think, Libby? Would you take a shot at that?
Yeah, I mean,
we're horrible at this bet, though. Let's qualify this for the listeners out there and the viewers. We are horrible at the MVP in-season prognostication, are we not? After burying everybody with Ben Roethlisberger? Remember that?
Yeah, I've never gotten it right. Have we ever done any of those? Gotten them right?
No, I don't think so. Well, we would be the worst ever. I don't know if it's just that we're against the voters. Is it some Trumpian concept where the elections for MVP, the selections are always stolen with a jaded vote and a suspect vote count? Is it the ink-stained wretches really don't recognize greatness? This new breed. Who's voting on this, by the way? Is it a new breed of reporters, or is it the old school guys with the mustard stain on their shirt and a bunch of pens with a protector in their pocket? What do you think, Libby? What kind of guys voting, or is it a cross section? That would be
baseball?
Interesting. But,
in baseball, there probably still is a lot of older dudes. Other sports, it may have gone younger. I know there's younger baseball writers, but I bet you of all the sports, that's a sport that has the most older crowd still
old
voting on things.
Yeah. You think?
I think. Right. I mean, I don't know, but that's what it feels like.
Just a possibility. They had the odds to win the MVP, and I thought about this guy, but I think he's only going to be out for a short period of time, so that wouldn't be enough to derail his chance.
That's what I'm
saying.
MVP. Like if he's only misses 5, 10 games, 15 games,
I don't even think it's going to be that long.
That's what I'm
he
saying.
Didn't even go on the injured list. The candidates, Paul Goldschmidt is plus 175. You're getting 1750 for 1,000 on him. Machado is actually the second choice. Sorry about that. You're getting 5-1 on Manny Machado. Would you take that? 5-1 on Manny Machado to win the MVP.
Solid. Yeah, that's pretty solid.
Good statistics. Yeah,
is really good. He's been good his entire career. Now he's settled in with the Padres, and they're legitimately trying to win a title.
You have to lay a price with Aaron Judge for the American League MVP. Lay a price.
He should be the favorite now.
Who's the guy with the Red Sox? Is it J.D. Martinez? Who's the guy that?
Is he still there? Yeah.
He's got like a phenomenal number of home runs. He's having like a real good season. He's not even listed
fell off
here.
Last year.
Possibility.
2 years ago he was great. Then last year he fell off, so people forgot about him. You know that.
That's one thing. How about this? This should come as no surprise to you. The Warriors favored to win the NBA title next year. Warriors at 5-1.
It should be.
What
I love is the number 2. The number 2 team that I saw yesterday, I thought was classic.
Who's that?
They had the Nets. One of the things I saw yesterday.
Nets third choice right now in this list of odds. Third choice. They have issues with Kyrie Irving, actually addressed today in the New York Post by the great New York Post columnist who is, I don't know that he's a frequent visitor to the show, but, periodically appears on the program here, Mike Vaccaro.
Actually,
the whole big thing about the Nets.
Coming on next week.
Oh, yeah? Okay, because what do you do if you're the Nets? Kyrie Irving has the option to come back. I think he's going to make like $38 million or something in that category. If he comes back, player option $38 million, and it's undecided whether he's going to exercise that or not. Most people think that he is, and he's going to return to the Nets, and that they're stuck with him for at least a year. Their contract negotiations on an extension have stalled, according to reports, and for good reason, right? Because if you're the Brooklyn Nets, do you really want to go ahead and commit a couple of $100 million to Kyrie Irving, not knowing what you're going to get from this guy? Vaccaro made the allusion to the O-line. I thought this was about Florida weather, where somebody says, hey, if you don't like the weather in, say, Miami, just wait 10 minutes, right? Because it's going to change.
Yes.
But Vaccaro applied that, said it was a line like from Mark Twain or something that applied to Boston. That if you don't like the weather, did he say in New England or Boston? Just wait
Really?
10 minutes and it's inclined to change. I don't know if I buy
I don't think
that.
that's
Do you?
true. I
Yeah.
thought that's the thing about that weather is if it's a gloomy day, you're screwed. If it's a nice day, you'll be fine. Like down here, it's the opposite. It changes within the minute.
In seconds, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't even
that
have
doesn't
to.
make
You could drive a block and all of a sudden be in a completely different set of weather conditions.
Yes.
I was driving to play
horse.
tennis last night. I left my place here, Lauderdale by the Sea. Relatively clear skies, very nice. I drove about a half a mile up the street, and all of a sudden, I was clooning in the perfect storm.
Exactly.
I always get the fish. I started screaming it out the window. I always get the fish. Good morning to a couple of people, too. We always dig it when you guys weigh in on the chat line here, which you're more than welcome to do. Easy E says ye.
That's Eric.
Okay. He says ye. And Julian, big fan of the show and frequent contributor on the chat line here. We always like it when he weighs in. Wishing everybody a good morning. And look, Andy's around. He says, trade Kyrie for Dave the Busher.
And I think the Busher is dead.
The Busher, I can guarantee you, is dead. There's no question there. I mean, we've seen autopsy reports. I mean, you don't have to be Quincy to determine that the Busher is no longer with us. What do you think about that, Mr. Fung?
Oh, my God.
That was my favorite testimony in the OJ trial. Who was that? Was that Sheck? That was doing that? Barry Sheck?
Probably was Sheck, yeah.
How twisted is the legal profession? Think about this. Barry Sheck, who does a very noble service and dedicates a lot of time to the Innocence Project, I mean, is a stroke of genius, right? And he uses DNA evidence, which he was an expert in, which is why he was called into the OJ Dream Team, Barry Sheck, to be part of it. But in the OJ trial, he is denouncing completely the use of DNA evidence, whereas in
what
all
he's
of
built
his
his
other
career
work,
upon. His career upon.
he thinks it's the greatest, and obviously it is. I mean, among the greatest scientific discoveries when it comes to any kind of legal process, where at least a guy, some poor black guy that was convicted on no evidence whatsoever, maybe only has to do 30 years of his life sentence because eventually Sheck will find out that, hey, guess what? This guy was in Cleveland when the crime took place in Detroit.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But he was the guy, wasn't he the guy doing the questioning on Mr. Fung?
Probably.
Fung, the assistant coroner.
Yeah,
who,
with that.
Apparently, butchered, whatever the process was. Were you wearing gloves, Mr. Fung? What do you think about that, Mr. Fung? I thought Fung's testimony was fairly credible, actually. What did you think, Lubie?
I thought all of it was credible. The whole thing seemed utterly ridiculous that it was even hanging in the balance.
Imagine that. This was in question.
If they hadn't found out that Mark Furman was racist, they would have had nothing. They found that little thing from him years earlier, and they hung on to that like gold.
He had like a cassette tape where he was using the N-word a couple of dozen times.
Which had nothing to do with the OJ. Like the OJ
Nothing.
was an open shut case.
Supposedly this guy, in a moment of just pure unadulterated racism, decided, hey, you know what I want to do? I'm going to take this bloody glove from the crime scene and drop it off at OJ's house. Just arbitrarily picking O.J. Simpson out of the blue sky.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, why not?
There was blood everywhere.
Any ex-football player that was living in L.A. Olsen was dead at the time, but nonetheless, I mean, it would have been just as easy to pin it on him. But that did seem a little bit ridiculous. All right, we're going to get into some football here. Jason Cole going to join us on the show. And it's always great having Jason on the program. He's going to join us. We'll get a little idea about what's going on in the National Football League. Lubie, I'm surprised that you didn't book a guest to talk about the NBA draft. And why haven't you issued your 2-round complete mock draft?
This is as bad a draft as ever. Like, even the number one pick is someone like Holmgren and Banchero. Both are massive questions. Like, there's no slam dunk guy in this entire draft.
I wasn't overwhelmingly impressed with Holmgren. Who do we talk to? We talked to some NBA scout, and
they like them.
Knowledgeable basketball guy said, "Oh no, this is the ideal prototype."
Well, the professor loves him too. The professor and our buddy Blake really like him a lot because they're seeing the possibilities. I watched him when the Gonzaga needed him desperately, and he wasn't even playing against big men of comparable size, and he was useless. Like he didn't do anything in
He
anything.
didn't overwhelm me in the postseason there in the NCAA tournament,
nothing.
which Gonzaga once again.
Got owned.
There's an annuity that the Gonzaga will not win. Not
exactly.
win the NCAA championship, which has Kentucky favored, believe it or not, so far this year. Well, why am I into all of this future odds stuff? I mean, I rarely make these wagers.
I was going to say.
Time we really indulged in any of that was with the Marlins with the run for 71. And, of course, the drive for 75, which both came up short, hideously so.
Yeah.
That 1 year, it was really...
The drive for 25 was the one we actually got. Yeah, the first year. The first year, they were within like 3 games with like 3 left or 2 games with 3 left.
1 game to go. I mean, they needed to win like one of the last 2 games against the Mets, and they went against DeGrom and Syndergaard.
Yep.
It was ugly. Yeah, got shut out both games, I think. As we were crying, contemplating jumping off the Dania Pier. We could take Mayo with us now. He's right there in Dania. All right, Jason Cole going to come up here in a few minutes. And then what is this thing? The Silver Hammer Award? What is it?
Silver Knight Award. We do it every year. It's an award that they give. I think it's nationally, but I know Broward and Dade does it for excellence to a high school athletes / academics. We've done it for 3 years in a row. So,
okay. All right.
I have a couple. There's multiple winners. There's a ton of them, but 2 of them will join us this morning for a few minutes.
Always good to see young people that not only have great intentions and aspirations, but are out there actually doing stuff now and accomplishing things. I mean, it's the direct opposite of my underachieving youth. But I just wanted to go to the track, bet horses, and play baseball all day long, or basketball.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, for not much time dedicated to studies. Although I did invent a game that if I had pursued it a little further, I took one of those Stratomatic concepts and invented a game called Dice Boxing, Lubie, which everybody, I mean, every study hall, right? The teacher would eventually come in and go, "Hey, what the hell are you guys doing?" There'd be like 20 of us all playing dice boxing. And it worked out pretty well. Like the favorites usually won the fight. Ali would end up winning the championship, and we had different weight divisions. It was actually pretty good the way it worked out. You rolled the dice to see what punch was being landed and what the impact would be. All right, we're coming back with Jason Cole. Hialeah Park, great place to go, unbelievable. Champion simulcasting room, the poker room, just exquisite and really, really well run, as I often say. And the casino, it's Steve Calabro. Wow, I mean, people are just having a great time there. Every day you go on Facebook, you'll see the Hialeah post from Facebook where somebody else is taking down a jackpot, especially on those Royal Reels games, which are all over the place in the Hialeah Casino. You have all your favorite Vegas-style games, great food and drink everywhere, terrific atmosphere as well, and then they treat you like a champ. Get a player's card when you come in the door that entitles you to all kinds of freebies, amenities, and discounts on things, and part of the entertainment package as well. You can get all kinds of comps. It's just absolutely fantastic. And check the calendar of events, HialeahPark.com, because they always have special events coming up, including, I would imagine, another edition of El Boxeo, which was just sensational.
Yeah, that was great.
And see, that's the cool thing. If you get a program and a series like that going, and I think that was part of Frank Fiore's intention when he started getting behind this and saying, "Hey, we got to do boxing. We got to do boxing." And then he aligned himself with the right guys, excellent local promoters. Louis DeCuba's been in the game 50 years, which that reference to Roberto Duran, very appropriate yesterday by O.J. McDuffie, because yesterday was Duran's birthday. I don't know how old he is. What is Duran? Would he be like mid-70s?
I would say 70s, yeah.
I mean, he's got to be older than I am. I think he was already a world champion when I was still like, a young Deef.
71. He's a 71-year-old man.
How about that? Roberto Duran.
Look at you.
My brain is more scrambled than his, and he had like 100 pro fights, including someone, he probably should have been out of the game, and then he came back again and won like a middleweight championship. It was pretty incredible, Roberto Duran. But as a lightweight, incomparable. I don't think there was anybody close in the lightweight division to the dominance displayed by the great Roberto Duran. Anyway, if they do the boxing again, who knows? Maybe Duran will make a comeback at 71, but if it was possible to get a guy like that on the card, you know that the promoters there would find the best talent that's available. And those young guys, I'd like to see them come back. So if they
they were great.
Series, now you get to see a guy progress a little bit,
Yep.
and that's always a lot of fun, very entertaining until they finally launch themselves into championship categories. So look at the calendar of events at Hialeah Park, and you can find yourself something very entertaining to do, almost as a matter of routine. It's a wonderful place. We love them. Make sure you make your plans to visit beautiful Hialeah Park. All right, coming back with Jason Cole. Jason, of course, always universal when it comes to anything in the NFL. Longtime NFL writer and one of the I don't know. I think he was the leader in the insider game. I think he
At the
invented
beginning,
it.
yeah, he's one of the early adopters. Yep, early founders.
Knows his stuff. So we'll talk to Jason Cole here in just a minute on the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz on South Florida Live. Back in a moment. Now that.
The time.
7:22.
Folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched. Steaks hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Don't gamble in anger.
She hit the daily.
Very calm. Think it through. If you need a little help, don't gamble in anger.
I get a panic phone call, and he says, "Do you have any extra cash?" I go, "Yeah, I brought money with me to Atlantic City." He goes, "Well, I can't get any more out of the card because the Mustang went wild and emptied the daily allotment of cash."
Double nickels, man. She went for a nickel on her card and a nickel on mine.
The best way to kick off your day is with Defo plus Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show. Good to have you with us on this fine Tuesday here on South Florida Live. Of course, Mike Lubie Lubitz, the Defo Show, and it's always a pleasure to welcome this man and have any conversation that we can develop with the great Jason Cole, who now, has exceeded any of the superlatives that we usually lay out there for him. I'm pretty sure by now he's probably into full-fledged movie producing, but screenwriter, author, has some amazing literary works out there in the sporting world, including a book on Elway that really defined his whole persona as a football player, and has written for many different outlets, and done a great job covering the NFL for many, many years. We welcome Jason Cole to the program. Jason, how are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic. How you doing, Defo?
Doing all right. Where are you at these days? Are you still in Gainesville? Are you moving around? What's going on?
I'm in California right now.
Oh, yeah? Wow. Oh, Jesus.
Pushing the film. Did you sign a deal? What happened? Is Matt Damon involved? Affleck? Anybody?
No, we haven't quite gotten that far, but we have an announcement coming up pretty soon about not for the About a deal that we got for I'm moving on a former Pittsburgh Steelers scout, a guy named Bill Nunn. So that'll come out pretty soon. So we got some things moving. So things are going good.
Where did you go to celebrate? Spago? I mean, were you hanging with the Kardashians? Did you meet Pete Davidson?
Northern California. I'm in Northern. It's not quite so glamorous as you want to believe, but I'll go with that dream and say yes. Spago. Wolfgang came tableside, and he made the chopped salad for us.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. You see Spielberg whispering to whoever he's with, that's Jason Cole over there. Wow. Can't believe he's, here, got a better table than we did.
That happened. Yes, that happened too, Defo. Yes, it really did.
we get aced out by Jim Gray to get a shrimp cocktail at St. Elmo's in Indianapolis, and you're sitting down at a table and they're telling Stallone he has to wait. That's absolutely fantastic. All right, Jason, I'm glad it's going well for you. Well deserved, brilliant career, and always doing a great job on the National Football League. Well, we had this pop up last week, and we got a reasonable explanation from Iron Eagle, but I guess reasonable would be the word that we want to work on here, because I had been informed by the great Jim Sarney, whom you know, a longtime writer at the Sun Sentinel and a big fan of the show, big fan of yours, obviously, as you guys worked together, at least on the staff there. That was brilliant at the time. One of the best sports sections in the country in its day, the Sun Sentinel. Unfortunately, Jason, it's, dissipated down to, like a page or two, and not a whole lot of coverage of a variety of things. But Sarney told me that the Jets somehow had gone from 200-1 to win the Super Bowl to 100-1, the largest line move of preseason football betting, and an enormous amount of money supposedly was going in various sources on the Jets. Now we asked Iron Eagle about that, and he said yes. And you'll also notice that there's an increase in the number of crazy people and people driven by self-sabotage that are getting involved in sports wagering. Is there really any justification for a line move on the Jets?
Well, there was evidently an opening of several meth dealers in the Jersey area.
I mean, they can't win the Super Bowl, can they? Would you put any money on that? Every dime you put up, you would think is going up in smoke.
Well, I mean, when you have 200-1,
yeah,
and here's the other thing, Defo, and you know this better than I do. When odds move at this time of the year, it's not because some big whale came in. It's because a few $1,000s were wagered, right? I mean, people aren't betting a lot of preseason lines, okay? And it just happened to be, I'm going to guess that some meth-addled Jets fan came in and put down $10,000 at 200-1 on a whim because he happens to have 10. Okay. Right. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, well, we got to adjust this line because that's the only really big betting that's happened. Right. And so they want to make sure that they don't get caught, doing something really, really stupid. That's all it is. But a line moving from 200-1 to 100-1, I mean, there's 100, 100-1, that doesn't make them exactly favorites.
No,
right?
I mean, it's still a ridiculous wager.
No doubt. Right. Yeah. It's still a dumb thing to bet on. Okay. And so take that at face value as betting on the Jets to win the Super Bowl is a dumb idea. It's a very dumb idea.
I would think your intellect would come under question if you actually believed. I mean, it's one thing to just take a flyer with $20 and say, hey, at 200-1, I'm getting back 400 if they do it, but or even a couple of $100 to get back a few thousand.
Somebody came in with 10 G's.
Yeah.
And who can afford bet 10 G's, and they bet 10 G's, on the Jets, and maybe it's, it happens. I've seen plenty of people at craps tables put out $15,000 and lose it in 30 minutes. Okay. In the Jets case, it won't take quite 30 minutes. It'll take a little bit longer. But
about 6 games, about 6 games in, you'll be done.
About 6 games, about 6 games, you're like, okay, well,
you got it. Yeah.
All right. I mean, another story surfaced here, and we talked with another one of your former contemporaries about this, and he seemed to believe that this had some serious weight to it, and maybe was likely to happen if all of the circumstances had played out. In fact, he saw the Brian Flores lawsuit as the thing that broke the chain of events that might have brought this about, with Sean Payton coming to the Dolphins and Tom Brady coming along with him. Now, when we first heard about this kind of stuff, you thought, all right, yeah, it makes sense to go after Peyton, but probably not going to happen. And the Brady thing seemed a little far-fetched until Flores' allegations that they had this clandestine, a deep-throat meeting taking place on a boat with Stephen Ross and Brady, and I guess some of the Dolphin brass. And a couple of things come to mind. Now, I don't know, how much credibility you would give to the idea that the Dolphins were seriously or even close to making it happen in terms of pursuing that. But and the people we've talked to, you can't help but think if that was their plan, they did a hell of a job of making an about face, did they not? Because they actually look like a team that had some idea what they were doing in the offseason, or at least it seems that way.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, this certainly makes them sound like they had a big idea.
Yeah.
Like for $20 million a year, Sean Payton's gonna perk up and take notice. And if you tell him that he gets to work with Tom Brady, even more so, right? Because I don't think after having had Drew Brees for 14 years, I don't think that he wants to step back and go into the search for a next quarterback. He wants a ready-made deal, and having Tom Brady is a ready-made deal, right?
Yes.
So that part of it, I certainly believe. I certainly believe that Tom Brady moved to Miami for a purpose, right? He's down on, what is it, Indian Creek Island?
Yep.
I think he bought Shula's old house for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's got the ghost of Shula. Is that sort of like the ghost of Mrs. Mirror? Is that sort of like that? Anyways, yeah. So the ghost of Shula had reappeared and said, "Do this, Tom." And Tom was ready to do it. Plus, they were going to throw millions at him. Here's a couple of problems with it. And there's one assistant coach that you and I both know very well, who was also part of Peyton's plan that he put together to do this all in Miami. So I think it was very real. Okay. And I certainly believe Dave Hyde's reporting and some of the other reporting that's been done on this story. I think it had legs. It fell apart awfully quickly, and I'm always sitting here going, the Brian Flores lawsuit is what took this apart. If that's what it was, this was a plan put together in dominoes that fell apart really quickly, right? So
yeah,
it wasn't all that solid. Let us say it was a lot of, well, if we do this, and will you do this, and will you do this, and if I pay you $20 million a year, will you do this? Oh, sure. For $20 million, I'll do a lot of things.
Sure.
So I think it was an idea that had a lot of legs, but was held together with baling wire and string, so that when something serious happened, it came apart really quickly. That's how I would term this. The other thing is, look, if the Dolphins were going to pay Sean Payton $20 million a year, what were the New Orleans Saints going to ask for him in trade?
Yeah.
You have to ask questions like that. They're going to hold you up. Likewise, Tampa was going to hold you up. So how many years worth of first round draft picks do you think you're going to lose in that whole process?
And maybe for a 1 year service. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and sometimes you do things just, because you're close in so many other places, and, you say, okay, let's go get this magic, player, and he'll put us over the top, and we'll do it for 1 year, and it's worth it, right?
Yeah,
that's okay. That's not a bad thing. Winning a championship is a good thing. The people in Tampa are certainly going to be happy for a long time having won that Super Bowl, right? even if the effect is not long term. It's okay. But yeah, I don't think this was built. This was not a building built on concrete, a concrete foundation. That was just not going on.
Yeah, only Carol Rosenblum. I don't know what it would have taken in terms of compensation, but yeah, you're right. It could have been crippling. And then you're thinking, I mean, I don't know how
another ghost living along the South Florida shore. Although that's a little bit more gruesome.
Yeah, that's a little sketchy there.
And what Georgia might have had to do with it. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Where's Natalie Wood? I mean, she might wash up, there too. All right, Jason Cohen with us here on the Defo Show. The other story that surfaced, I guess, and it comes as no surprise, but and I'm not sure, how much weight this one has. But I'm reading these things, and you become a judge of what level of credibility it might have. It didn't seem like outrageous, speculation about Deshaun Watson that he will be suspended for a significant period of time, and the speculation was like if he got off lightly here, it would be half a year and probably a full season. What are you hearing on that front? I mean, do you anticipate that is going to happen, that Deshaun Watson will not play NFL football this year?
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, it's built into his contract that way. I mean, he intentionally built a guaranteed contract that only has a $1 million base salary this year. He's got $200 million in salary that's guaranteed, right? Only $1 million of it is supposed to come this year. They knew going in that there's a real possibility that he wasn't going to play. They're preparing for that, right? Like Watson's people are prepared for that. And, they know something significant is going to happen. And they just know that, look, you can't have this guy around while all of this news is swirling. And every 2 weeks, you don't know what's coming out next. Yep. And who might sue him again. So, this is a bad look for the NFL. Because at the end of the day, there's no dad who wants to take his child to a game and have to explain in the middle of the game what a happy ending is.
Oh,
that's just not really.
That's actually very true. Yes,
that's not really the conversation, right? That's just not. You do that when they're 14, 15, 16. Yeah, that's not 8-year-old Johnny. Yeah. Why is Deshaun Watson? I read something about happening. No, we're not. We're not having that conversation.
Listen, just have a cotton candy and shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and especially if you happen to bring your wife along with you.
Yeah, that's a fun.
She's glaring at you. Right. Yeah, that's just not. It's not what you want to do, right? And that's the thing that. And there's always a thing that I tell athletes, you're not supposed to, you're not necessarily supposed to be some beacon of sunshine that we all have to look up to. You can just go be a regular person. Yeah. But understand there are going to be conversations depending on what stupid thing you do. Yeah. And Deshaun Watson has done an incredibly stupid thing by involving so many people in his life.
Yep.
Pretty bizarre, modus operandi that he had working there when he was booking 65 different massage therapists, over a short period of time.
It's sociopath. It's sociopathic.
Yeah,
now he didn't hurt it. Yeah. He didn't permanently hurt anybody. Okay, that's I'm sure there are women out there who might argue differently, but nobody's dead, right? And I get that. So this is not a capital offense,
right?
But
he wasn't really battering women in that sense. Yeah.
From what we know, yeah.
No, he's not right. He's not leaving somebody permanently disfigured and all that kind of stuff. It's tawdry and stupid and disgusting. But one of the things in this is you just kind of look at a pattern of behavior. If you're an employer and you go, who am I bringing into my building?
Yep.
Does this person have self-control? Do they have common sense? Are they doing things to sacrifice for themselves to put the team and the organization first? And in this case, this person is not.
No.
And it's all come out now. he certainly played good football while this was going on. So he's worthy of taking a chance on. But you have to look at him and say, are you focused on your job? At the end of the day, are you really focused on what it takes to be great? Or are you focused on the kind of control that you can, put over other human beings? That's the question with this one.
I keep picturing Tiger sitting in a chair in a business suit with, the same sort of bizarre sexual approach that, you would say certainly would come under the heading of, I don't know about alternative lifestyle, but, a little bit of a deviation from the norm.
It's deviant. But the one thing I'll give with Tiger is, like, the only person he hurt was himself.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, it was all consensual from way now.
The only person he was ever responsible was to himself.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson's a whole different thing. And again, like, all sorts of people have all sorts of desires and things like that. But when you involve so many people in your life, you're not only is it semi-deviant behavior, but it's dangerous because you can't control these people talking about you when you let them into your life. And that's one thing athletes just, a lot of athletes just never learn. It's like, why do athletes make horrendously bad drug dealers? Because at the first drop of the hat,
the dumbest.
Right, at the first drop of the hat, somebody's going to give them up.
Yep.
Right.
Because, like, okay, I just got arrested. Who am I going to give up so that I get a lesser sentence? Oh, that dude.
Yep.
Nate Newton. Yeah, you're the first to go. Okay, and everybody like that. So it's like it's just a bad idea.
Jason, always a pleasure. Best of luck with the film. We'll look forward to the big
sir.
announcement. That's very, very exciting for us here on the show.
I'll email you guys.
Keep us posted, sir.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, let us know and come back
Will
on
do.
because we'd love to immediately get some kind of reaction and stir the pot a little bit about what you have going. So that'll be great. All right, Jason, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much, man.
Get some rest.
Really appreciate it. He's in California right now, you said?
I didn't know that. He's the one that wanted to go early.
It's like 4 a.m. there, Lubie.
I was trying to do it at 9 something, and he was like, no, early. Okay.
Does he go for a run, to Palo Alto or something?
I don't know.
He said he was in Northern California. I like that, man, making a movie deal.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, you got to like people that still, he's already accomplished a lot and still has ambition to go out there and do more. So,
well, he's doing like a career move. He's written over 7 books, and he's trying to get into this other realm. Good for him.
Well, yeah, nice. All right, we're in that same ballpark. All right, you want to go right to these young people, or you want to line them up? Okay, yeah. All right, that's what we'll do. We'll talk about Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill a bit later on in the program here, because that's a great spot, and good weekend coming up. Looked like the weather was going to be okay. I guess it's summertime, right? First day of summer, Lubie.
Yes, sir.
Did you love that? That was always significant to me, man. One of my favorite movie titles of all time, and I've seen the movie a few times. The Endless Summer, right? That had the greatest poster ever, promotional poster with the sunset, or I guess it was rising, and these guys are going surfing, man, just absolutely fantastic. Great concept, Endless Summer. I always loved the summertime.
I'm sure.
Because I hated school. I mean, I absolutely hated school from like kindergarten on. It was just a disaster for me. All right, till I got to college, and that was some real freedom there, right? Zero responsibility except to maybe go to a couple of classes or find a way to fake a D. And then, some good-looking girls, man. That was a good time. All right, we're coming back with more. We have the, what was this now? The Silver Hammer?
Silver Night Award. Silver Night
Award. A very fine distinction. Young people, enterprising young people that are accomplishing great things. And,
yes,
it's an honor. We've done this the last few years, a little community service type of stuff. So we're going to come back with that. 2 very interesting young people that have received the Silver Night Award, which combines what? It's an award for the combination of excellence in academics and athletics. Is that the deal, Libby?
Yes.
Does it involve like community and,
they do also? Different groups or entities. They're usually involved in them. They usually start them. They usually run them. And it's usually pretty impressive, the kids we've had.
Yeah, no, the kids have always been great, too. So looking forward to that. We'll have that coming up in just a couple of minutes here on the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, brought to you in part, of course, as always, by the great people at Hialeah Park. And we will be back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
7:46. Ponies in Style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. You know, since day one, Catholic Health Services has been part of Old School. And since we've started letting people know about them, it's changed their lives. You see, Catholic Health Services, while being recognized as one of the top places for stroke rehab in the country, it's also about a group of people who not just excel in what they do, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapist, on and on and on. It's how they do what they do every single day that separates them from the pack. They do it with a passion, unmatched, and the inclusion of family in every step of the process. Trust me when I tell you this. If you want the best, unmatched rehab with a special group of skilled, caring people, there is truly only one place, and that one place is Catholic Health Services.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by asleep, to say we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks.
What could that have been about, except to hedge or not to hedge?
The modern day odd couple, Defo and Lubie, are on now. It is, of course, the Defo Show.
Our academic explorations led us to the conclusion that Shakespeare was a degenerate. And I don't know that we're going to win any kind of scholarships or, get the Nobel Peace Prize or anything based on that. And welcome back to the show. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie. It's the Defo Show here on South Florida Live. This is always a pleasure for us because my lone distinction in high school, Lubie, you can appreciate this, was that I finished second in the voting for class clown to a guy named Alfred Scleroux.
You weren't even first?
Scleroux actually was very funny, and I think he had gotten involved with some performance-enhancing things at the time in terms of his comedy, and was an early explorer, dabbling in mind-altering drugs. And so that was it. So we really appreciate people that go out there and do it right. You were a good student, Mike Lubie Lubitz, but these next two people that we're going to speak with on the show here, and it's a pleasure to welcome first Maya Moyes, who is from American Heritage, and she has won the Silver Knight Award and has done it while playing in high school. She ended up having an injury and came back, and you didn't specify what sport this was, but I'm assuming it was basketball. Maya, welcome to the show, first of all.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good to have you on. Basketball was your game. Yeah, I don't know why it felt that way, but tell us a little bit about the experience that you had at American Heritage, and then, obviously, congratulations. And how does it feel to be a recipient of the Silver Knight Award, which is a great, great distinction?
It doesn't even feel real yet. I still feel like I'm every single day I wake up, I'm still processing everything. But it's just such a great honor, and like I'm extremely grateful. It brings me to awe. Like I have no words to say. But
it's fantastic.
I played basketball. Yeah, so I played basketball actually since I was in 6th grade, and I was weightlifting outside of school. And I think that all the overworking and constantly going to the gym and going to basketball courts and going to practice, it just completely tore down my body. And then once I won a basketball state title for the state championship, I realized, hey, you know what? I want to focus more on what my future looks like. If I don't want to go to college to play a sport, what else would I like to do? And I already had the sports medicine club that I was creating, so I dedicated my junior year to focusing more on building that, opening up to more students, while I started pursuing my new career as an Olympic weightlifter.
I would imagine the Silver Knight Award draws a lot of attention from colleges and universities. Have you seen an increase in the number of places that would like you to attend their school, or have you already made a decision on that?
So I kind of felt like it was more because the award ceremony took place in April. We already had to like make a decision for what college we wanted to go to. So I kind of prefer that too, because I want to look more at what place would I fit in more. What place would I actually have the ability to grow, and what place actually wanted me beyond the stuff that I listed down. What part could be my community? So I actually committed to Rice University in April.
Yeah. Outstanding. Now, what are your aspirations? I mean, do you have any idea what kind of things you would like to do in life, especially early on, or have you just left that wide open at this point?
So my goal is actually to become an orthopedic surgeon, and I want to work for both the National Football League and the U.S. Army.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, very noble ambitions, and obviously, very high ambitions. Fantastic. Well, congratulations, Maya. Thank you, Maya Moyes from American Heritage, joining us here on the show. Silver Knight Award winner, and obviously, I mean, very eloquent and well spoken. And we found that to be consistent with the Silver Knight Award recipients. We want to welcome another one of those Silver Knight Award winners. This is a gentleman from Belen Jesuit. And he started his own foundation in 2016 in memory of his grandmother. And this is an organization that helps connect fixed income seniors and help them out, which I could be one of them pretty soon here. So I may need this gentleman's services in just a few moments. Going to welcome Carlos Morales of Belen Jesuit to the program. By the way, Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet, his daughter goes to American Heritage, which, as I recall, I mean, don't they have?
Hey, Carlos, you ready to come on with Jeff and Mike?
Absolutely dynamite programs. All right, let me. Carlos sounds like he's ready since you announced that over the air. That was great. All right, so Carlos Morales with us here on the program from Belen Jesuit.
Yeah, 1 second.
Very good, Lubie. I've been tap dancing here for like 5 minutes.
I don't know why you were.
Made these
mathematically had to have done this. Okay.
All right, Carlos Morales, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us here on South Florida Live, the Defo Show.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. This always intrigues me. I mean, especially when really young people do things that you would hope your politicians would figure out a way to do, or, other organizations that are comprised of adults and people, that have had a lot more experience. But this is great. Tell us about the foundation that you started to help fixed income seniors, which could be Lubie and me pretty soon, and help them out. And you did this in honor of your grandmother. How did you get that ball rolling, Carlos?
Yeah. So the Abuela Foundation, like as a whole, was thought by my grandfather or my father in his business class in 2008 when he was going to college. But it kind of fell through because for reasons. And after my grandmother passed away, like on June 3rd, 2015, I asked my dad if we could do it, the foundation. So we started it up, and I remember our first event was painting an elderly person's home, and from there it just blew up. Honestly, from even during the pandemic, our first event had like around 30 volunteers, and now we have around 180, which our goal is. I'm so happy of how much it's grown, and it's grown. It has grown a lot, and all of our goal is to combat solitude within the elderly community of Miami-Dade County, and I feel like either helping one or helping 200 people per week, it always makes my day every single time we have an event.
How on earth do you do it? I mean, combine what obviously must be a lot of time and dedication, and time dedicated to this particular effort, and then acing your work in school.
Well, I've been doing a lot of events, like through my lifetime, from 6th grade, from 12th grade. I've made sure to do a lot of extracurricular activities because I do love being active in whatever it is, if it's either sports or the community or in school. So it has taken a toll on me because it is a lot of stuff, but I've been trained to work through all of this. My parents have made sure to help me a lot, or with anything I do need help with, they're always by my side. So it's amazing to have people next to me that are able to help me with everything I am doing. For the event, I reached out to commissioners to give me like the elderly people's information that do need help in our district, and they were more than happy to give me their names. So I was able to reach out to the individuals, let them know that we're going to give them groceries, and they're always more than happy to get some free groceries. But yeah, it's without the help of like the volunteers that come out every single day, my parents that help me organize these events, and my youth council board, which is composed of around 15 people that I chose to help me organize these events. There've been people that along my side that have helped me not only work these events, but have helped me make a difference in our community.
This is brilliant stuff here. I mean, very refreshing. These young people that are Silver Knight recipients. Carlos Morales of Belen Jesuit with us. What are your aspirations? What direction would you like to see your life take over the next few years, Carlos?
Well, I've always wanted to continue doing the Abuelos, and I'm not going to stop. But one thing that has that I've been looking at recently is I wanna do something in the world of like computer science. So I want to do to be like a white hat hacker, which is like a good hacker that I reach out to companies and ask to breach their companies to find like holes of where they could be hacked, and create like firewalls or something to help them from not being hacked again.
Great stuff, man. It's good to know there are people like you, that are going to be becoming leaders in this world. I'm getting a little, out there. I'm on borrowed time, Carlos, if you can imagine. And, it's nice to know that the world is going to be in good hands, because you don't often see this with all the maniacal stuff that's going on out there in the news. And, every story is another atrocity. Carlos, congratulations on being a Silver Knight recipient. This is Carlos Morales, Belen Jesuit. It was a delight having you on the program. And you sound like, just the epitome of what you would want a young man to be. So thanks so much for joining us here on the Defo Show.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. Thanks you.
Thanks, Carlos. Good luck.
All right, than't a lot. Boy, do I feel like a loser.
I was going to say, I feel like I wasted my time. And I tried in high school, but I didn't do any of this. I didn't do any of that shit.
I was just hoping Miss Lone wouldn't flunk me in French, because I was staring at her the entire time because she happened to be smoking hot. And, my testosterone level was at such a peak that zits were popping out like I had monkeypox. And I didn't want to go to summer school because that was like a fate worse than on going into solitary for me. I mean,
no.
I made the mistake of thinking I was going to enhance my academic standing by going to a summer school class.
I did it once. I did it one time. Yeah, one time when I was really young. That was a waste of time.
I think I was in the 5th grade.
Had nothing done.
I had never regretted. I mean, even being married 3 times, I never regretted the decision more than that one. No, it's true. I mean,
I
it was
agree.
the most dreadful, and I used to be in pain killing the hour. Like an hour of school time to me seemed like centuries. It just did. Right. Even if I was reading like the program for that night's racing at Yonkers or Roosevelt, it didn't matter. It didn't help get by like some of the boring classes that I took when I was in school. College was an awakening, though. That was
college.
fantastic. Yeah,
it was. School was like you had life, and then school was like there.
I had no idea what I was doing when I got there, man. I really didn't. But I learned the system quickly.
I figure.
It was great. All right, a lot of sports to talk about, even though Lubie said it was a slow night last night. I did watch some of that Marlins game. I will say this. We don't like to knock other people in the business, Lubie. We don't. We really. But, I mean, some of our job is critiquing others and, talking about, like, ball games and the way they're transmitted and broadcast and who's on a broadcast, especially with all the money that's being tossed around in this business today. For play-by-play guys that you would figure, I mean, you should never say this, but it's a kind of job that you would actually do for free, Lubie.
I've done it not for free, but I've done it damn near.
Now that I think about it, proportionate to Joe Buck's contract, I was doing it for free. But I tuned in to Bally Sports Florida, watched a little of the Marlins game yesterday. They were trailing, and it was a very dull, listless effort by the Marlins yesterday. Routine 6-0 loss. It was like getting hit with a blunt object. Every time they raised the gallop, which I was watching a couple of the middle innings, they would get guys on base. Looked like they could get back into the ball game, at least chip away and get a run somewhere in the fifth or the sixth. And they would hit into inning-ending double plays. Soler, who was supposed to be a big asset to this team, and I've watched periodically, so I can't really say. Batting average is pretty low for a guy that you paid a bunch of money for and thought was going to be some kind of savior. This was the World Series hero last year with the Braves, and he was dynamite in the World Series. But had he ever sustained that over a whole season? I don't think so.
Nope.
So the Marlins invested this guy. He's hitting about 220. Has some home runs, but not a gargantuan number. It's not like you're looking at Aaron Judge here. And at least he kind of blasted into a double play. It was like an unfortunate thing, right? You happen to hit the ball right at the third baseman. I think they had guys on first and second and one away. So they had a chance. They were down 3-0 at the time. They had a chance to crack through against this left-hander who pitched about 5 1/3 for the Mets. Was his name Jackson? I don't know. What was the guy's name that was pitching yesterday for the Mets? Little Al Jackson.
Peterson. David Peterson. David Peterson.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Jackson
Peterson. That's same shit.
Fritz Peterson was on the mound for the
exactly
Mets. And just a typical, major league left-hander. But he was offering up his share of pitches that you thought could have easily been whacked for extra bases. And the Marlins couldn't do it. And they do this every year, don't they? I mean, that's how you become totally irrelevant in sports, like the Dolphins did for 20 years. But they're not even at that level, right? At least the Dolphins have mostly been around a 500 club.
Yeah.
Slightly above, slightly below a couple of times. They've tried a lot of things, but it just doesn't look like it's ever going to get there for the Miami Marlins, does it? I mean, like never. Like they're the Pittsburgh Pirates plus. That's about it.
That's what they feel like.
Yeah. Ugliness, right? It's not like you're going to be singing "We Are Family" anytime soon.
Oh, no.
Well, that was a long time ago, huh? 70s?
Before my life, yes.
Pittsburgh, remember when they got the guy who was supposed to be the real sharp owner and they got the new ballpark and that was going to be...
That I remember. When they got the ballpark, it was supposed to change everything and it did nothing.
Holy Roberto Clemente, man. They have been horrible ever since. Horrible. Like just an absolute disgrace of an example of a franchise in professional sports. But no doubt, I mean, is it gambling that's fueling the escalation in the price of these franchises? Is that what it is, Lubie? What do you think?
Well, I mean,
how the Broncos worth $4.5 billion when the Dolphins were sold to Stephen Ross? What about how many years ago?
A decade ago? Is it a decade? Yeah, 15,
10,
like
12. For $1 billion, the Dolphins in Miami.
Inflation.
4.5 times.
It's inflation. I mean, that's the thing is like, I feel like The Dolphins would be in the 4 to 5. I mean, maybe not. The Broncos are weirdly worth a lot. They've always been like one of the higher value teams, but the Dolphins being in Miami and he owns the stadium with what real estate is in Miami. Like, I can't even imagine if you combine the whole thing, what that would be right now. It would be
God. I mean, it would have to be up there with the highest of valued franchises, which New England in the NFL probably is the number.
It's always the Cowboys. The Cowboys are worldwide, like Cowboys, a top 3. Cowboys, Well, it's like Man U, the Yankees, Cowboys, some other soccer team. The Cowboys are always like worldwide. They're probably, I don't even want to know what they're worth, 6 to 10.
Imagine this, Mickey Harrison's old man, Ted Harrison, who was involved, with the purchase of the original Miami Heat. You know what the purchase price was for the expansion team in 1988, Lubie?
I don't know. You said it's like, wasn't it a few million?
$50 million was the expansion fee, and people were like, "Whoa, $50 million! You got to be kidding me, man! What's the Mick getting for the franchise today?"
Oh, good.
Pat Riley's wardrobe is worth $50 million at this stage. I mean,
oh, sure. Yeah, $2-3 bill.
And another thing, this got interesting. We get into this a little bit since we just had some kids that are in school, and wow, how remarkable were those two young people, Lubie?
That's why we do it every year. It's I guess a community service, but it just wakes me up to realize, wow, I underachieved a lot. Like, what the fuck was I doing? I don't do that now.
I mean, it's so well spoken and
they're mature, they're
humble and mature, and yet very well focused. I had no idea what the hell I was going to do. I sort of always wanted to do what I'm doing. So
this-ish, but still. That's not lofty goals.
well, and what also happens to be true, because of the lack of attention that I pay to any kind of educational efforts, if I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't be able to do anything.
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like I chose this and it was a sea of things to do, but this is what it was like. Well, what else would I?
I would have no stammer like Ralph Cramden here. My brother always says, "You know what is great about you, Jeff? You always wanted to do exactly what you're doing, and you lived your whole life that way. And most people don't get to do that, no matter how much money or how little money they have. They don't get to do the thing that they absolutely wanted to do and love from the start."
Oh, for sure.
And I always come back with, you know what, though? I mean, it's really the only thing I know how to do.
It wasn't a choice.
You don't want me installing storm windows, that's for sure. I was thinking this morning because, we're just starting to spiral a little bit of capital into this here. That's what if I got like a regular job for a little while? Like I couldn't do it.
70, right? 70, you're not doing it, but even in your 40s, you weren't going to do it.
No, I was no good at a regular job.
You were never doing that.
I learned that one summer when I was home from Syracuse University. I think this was after my junior year. And I was out of Capitol, and I had given up the job there at Shea a few years prior to that. So, I needed to make a few bucks just to sustain what nonsense and nothingness I was doing in the summer. Yeah. And I took a job for 1 week. There was a store, a department store right next to Roosevelt Raceway called Fortunoff's. All right. And it was kind of like a Macy's in New York. And I worked there for 1 week. 1 week, Lubie, and I was ready to blow my brains out. Punching the time card, and I just wasn't for me. I mean, it really wasn't. So I'm very happy that I could yap, which was a lot easier than writing also, yeah. And more lucrative, too, as it turned out. All right, we're coming back with more. We'll get into this Title IX thing. When I first came across it, it was in an odd spot when I was just beginning my very humble journalism career, Lubie, at the Fontana Herald News. It was the first I had ever heard of Title IX. So that has to be circa, like 1975, maybe? Does it go back to that? When was Title IX initiated? 75?
I think the 70s. Look, it's been around my entire life, and I was born in 82. So I think it's the 70s. It's not the 60s.
I was just starting to become a sports writer and a sports editor of this rinky-dink newspaper in Fontana, California, which had a huge, California high schools have a huge football focus.
Early 70s.
Yeah. And I remember the coach was a guy named Dick Bruick. And you had to become close with these coaches if you were writing for one of these local fish wraps, because that was it. I mean, they were like the Rams to the people in the city of Fontana. And obviously, we're going to be headline news in a newspaper. It would be like Fohai beats Rialto 47-7. Yankees win World Series were the two headlines. Like, what? You put the high school game ahead of the Yankees winning the World Series? But that's how it went, and it was a big focus, and there were great players there, as I mentioned many times, right? I mean, you're covering a high school game, and Ronnie Lott's playing, safety.
Yeah, well, that was a thing.
Yeah,
like, I mean, high school
Munoz is blocking, you're watching just any number of studs that went on to be Hall of Famers that were playing high school ball in California at the time, and the coach. I remember him having a long conversation with me about how they were facing certain doom. The football program and the focus of sports were going to change forever in a monumental way, which I don't believe that really happened. Except they were worried about the impact it would have on their men's programs, obviously, that they had to actually concentrate now and put money into the women's programs. But I don't think it really, the men's programs didn't suffer this devastation on any level, I don't believe.
No.
With the advent of Title IX. So that fear was unfounded.
Yep.
But that was really, they were really scared of what was going to happen once Title IX came in. These were people that were already under suspicion of various
exactly.
Spying on other teams at the high school level. And they're worried about, the whole idea of equality. No, their concerns were not there at all. All right, we're coming back with more here on the Defo Show. Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104, Key Largo, Dynamite Place. The Gamble Gourmet was tuned in earlier. We have to get Mike Mayo down there to try the Italian Fisherman Pizza. So, now, he really should try some of the other stuff there with his ability to critique a menu, and I think he would be blown away at some of the seafood dishes in particular, right? Like, even something as simple as a mahi sandwich. Unbelievable. Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, man. It's your taste of the Keys. And it's your dose of the Keys also. You can hang there all day, have yourself a great time. Big, beautiful swimming pool, great service all over the place, fantastic food. Even if you're jogging down Isla Morana to go to a wedding, you're going to schwitz your brains out in the summertime if the wedding is in the summer. Thank you, Chris Kurtz and the lovely Danielle. Hottest I've ever been, Lubie, was at that wedding.
Oh, geez. God, really?
Had the Big Chill been there, I would have stayed there. I ended up in some kind of sleazy dump of a hotel. Is every hotel there that's under $60 a night called?
Good. Yes. Yes. Under $60 a night. Are you kidding me? Even I wouldn't do that. Oh, God.
There's no such thing in the Keys anymore as a cheap trip to the Keys.
You don't get that here in the Keys.
May as well be, trying to get use some casino comps at the Ocean Reef Club.
That's why.
Anyway, if you're looking for, and it is a brilliant place to stay.
That's why you go there. You're going to spend solid money for a great place. It's worth it. You feel you got value.
Wow. Check the website out, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, at jimmyjohnsonsbigchill.com, and you will find a lot of things there, including information on lodging, which is spectacular. The best, really, probably the nicest, if you could call it a hotel room, but it wasn't really that. It was like an estate, practically, that I've ever had. Nicest room I've ever had anywhere was Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. That's a fact. And I've been in some decent places, right? With various casino hosts running angles for me. So you'll love it. You'll love the stay down there. If you're going somewhere else, stop in for something to eat. Maybe have a couple of cocktails. Maybe you won't even leave because the music's going all day long and you got the sports bar. And just great food and drink and great vibe. At Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104. The Overseas Highway in Key Largo. All right, we have to get the Gourmet down there. You're not coming to that thing tonight, are you?
I can't. It's my nephew's first basketball game, and I'm the head coach. That's 6:15. It's freaking annoying.
Wow, you can't, pull.
That's a problem. If it was the fifth game or it's the first game, and it's like, okay, my dad and my brother-in-law are the assistant coaches, his grandfather and his father. So to have them coach the first game, it's like,
the timeouts must be really something with you and your dad.
We haven't done one yet, so it's going to be fun.
A 9-year-old's basketball game? What age are these kids?
It's 8 and under. They're 8 and 7. It's going to be a really good time. I never like yelling at the kids, but when they don't listen, I can't control myself. So it's fun. Yeah, it's a good time.
I'll give you a lesson here, really. Teach them to go to the left side of the court if they're right-handed. Left side of the court because it's unexpected. And then the double head fake always gets them. Right? Most people go up one head fake. The guy, he never buys it. But then when you go up with the second head fake, the guy always buys it. And now, I'm telling you, that was one of my favorite moves.
I believe you.
Head fake.
I just need to get them to dribble the ball. We're still there. That's
without their nose. Yeah, okay. You may as well go down to Key Largo and swim with the Dolphins.
I agree.
And watch them spin it right there in their nose. All right, we're coming back with more in a moment. Many things to discuss here on the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, and more on South Florida Live in a moment. Now that.
The time.
It's 8:16.
Folks, Tony.
Ponies in Style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine foods served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey folks, Tony Segretto here. You know, since day one, Catholic Health Services has been part of Old School. And since we've started letting people know about them, it's changed their lives. You see, Catholic Health Services, while being recognized as one of the top places for stroke rehab in the country, it's also about a group of people who not just excel in what they do, from the doctors to the nurses to the therapists, on and on and on. It's how they do what they do every single day that separates them from the pack. They do it with a passion, unmatched, and the inclusion of family in every step of the process. Trust me when I tell you this. If you want the best, unmatched rehab with a special group of skilled, caring people, there is truly only one place, and that one place is Catholic Health Services.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
I have sinned against you, my Lord.
The only way to get your morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Here's one for you, Lubie, and welcome back to the show, everybody. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz with you on South Florida Live here, the Defo Show, and great to be with you every morning, 7 to 9 here, Monday through Friday. Off Friday night, actually. I have a Friday night flight to New Orleans.
Nice.
Mike Lubie, Lubitz, so that should be some fun. Wow, I mean, it's a sodium bloodbath, as I've said many times.
Yes.
Okay, so all I bring are like gummy bears, which you can imagine the impact of those, and my gout medication. And like 2 pairs of shorts.
Yeah, it's like 2 hours.
Schwitz through a bunch of shirts. Also.
Yeah, it's got to be hot. Oh my God, that's the only thing right now. There.
Oh no, it's brutal when you walk outside the casino there. Which I mean, they pretty much have you as a captive audience. No wonder they're so generous with the comps, right? Because you're never going to go outside, right? Except actually have like an Acme Oyster House in.
Oh, really?
It's not a full-fledged one, but I think they do the. There was a while there they weren't serving the grilled oysters, which is really the number one reason that I have to go to the Acme Oyster House there, which Mayo would probably frown upon, irascible Mike Mayo, and say, that's a tourist spot. But I think whether it's a tourist spot or not, I think that they have the best.
It's good.
The best offering there of a lot of different things. They really do. I mean, they do everything well. So why would you?
Felix's one you told us was good too.
Yeah, Felix is all right too. A little different though.
Yeah, it was.
If you ask me which one I prefer personally, I actually prefer Acme over Felix's. But if I end up in Felix's, if the line is down the block there and to that vomit-covered ATM machine that is at the very beginning of the French Quarter that you come across there, before you get to that McDonald's, when you turn the corner.
I don't
on
know
Canal
New Orleans
Street.
that well.
Yeah.
Been twice.
It's always the same, right? It's always covered in throw up, that ATM machine. And you're thinking, how bad do I need this money?
And then you use it.
There must be another one. You know, one of my favorite things to get there, though, and see, you really have to watch yourself because you can only eat so much. I don't subscribe. Mayo's only 56. You know, he just had a birthday. And if you caught Mike Mayo's lunchbox yesterday and you listened to the description of the amount of food that this guy ate, it's not even Butterbean Ash or Buster Douglas. I mean, this was an enormous amount of food for Joey Chestnut to have consumed in a short period of time.
Dallas tracked. Shirley was asking me, like, how was the show? How was this and that? I was like, yeah, it was good, but like
it was scary.
Lunchbox, we spent the whole show just talking about his meals, and I don't know if we ever finished. Like, I don't know if we ever got to the end of his meals of the weekend in the entire hour.
See, I couldn't go from like maybe downing a dozen grilled oysters and some red beans and rice and something else at the Acme Oyster House and then go have like a lucky dog outside, which Mayo can do.
100%.
And then go eat.
And
after that. This is what this man did. I mean, yesterday, if you were going to talk about eating disorder and eating that order, that's what kind of eating disorder Mike Mayo is experiencing. And we're going to see him tonight eating. I hope he doesn't have like lunch before he goes. And then tomorrow we'll be out at the Even Keel Fish Shack there. Lauderdale by the Sea with Brad and Dave, man. And those guys are great, man.
Well, Brad always takes care of him. Like, finds some piece of fish he has and makes this gourmet meal. And it's like, that's not going to last long.
And then he describes the ingredients, and you're like, wow, I mean, who takes that much care? I mean, and time and effort and energy to, really just examine every single aspect of what's going into this thing. I mean, I'm not that kind of cook. Let's put it that way, right?
No.
Put an egg in a pan, throw a piece of cheese over the top, flip it one time, and boom. That's it. It's not exactly emerald glass. Boom. But yeah, I couldn't do it. I at this point in time. So I really dig like a lucky dog for some reason. It's not like a New York style thing. It's definitely and definitively a New Orleans hot dog. And they have the greatest carts. You ever seen the Lucky Dog carts there on the street?
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about hot dog cart in New Orleans. Okay.
And then worse, they have a Lucky Dog stand inside the casino at the Harris Hotel.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, I mean, all of a sudden, you got like half of a chili dog spilling on the Dream Card machine that I favor when I'm there. I only like it because every now and then, it's a crazy machine. I've never seen it in any other casino. I hit it one time for a dime. I got a royal flush. It's sort of a poker game that you're playing like draw poker like you would be in video poker, but every now and then a dream card pops up. So like maybe you've already been dealt like 3 aces. Now the dream card is going to be the 4th ace.
Yeah, it's like the Wild and like Uno. If anyone's ever played Uno.
Yeah, but a voice comes on. I don't know who voiced this, but they were brilliant, and it's a female voice that goes, "Dream card," in a very sensual fashion. And you're thinking, yeah, man.
Yeah, girl.
You're popping a Woody even at 70, just thinking, wow. Dream fucking card? You got to be kidding me, man. That's great. It doesn't always pay off, though. It's kind of like when you get free games on a slot machine. I don't know. You don't play a lot of slot machines. I don't either. But when I do, I mean, look, I'm angling for free games. I want all the free games I can get. Give me 100.
Yeah, of course.
And it never happens, right? Now, Mustang has a system. She has her stop-start system, which was working up until the last time we went to a casino, where, like, she hits a thing and then hits it again right away. Like she was... What is that thing where you hammer the head of the frog and it pops up?
Oh, that...
Yeah, what is that
frog,
game? That was always like you had very
whack-a-mole,
few...
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah. Like you only had one ticket left and you were sick and tired of entertaining your kid that day. So you wasted the last ticket on whack-a-mole because it was like the only game you could afford to play without
I was
going
stressing
back.
out. There was too much going on.
Yeah, whack-a-mole. Oh, gosh. So she plays it like whack-a-mole, man. She plays it like she was Mongo Santa Maria, man. I mean, just, right? She's hitting that thing constantly. And I let it roll like a fool, knowing that, I mean, is the machine not rigged? So if you let it roll, you're going to lose? Isn't that the configuration that would be most common, right? So you always get like the first two things of the bonus, and then the third one, even though you have like 3 rolls left, 3 reels of things left, it never hits. Never.
Yeah,
meanwhile, the Mustang goes boom, boom, and there it is. Look at that, another jackpot. Would I adopt that system? No, because I'm fueled by self-sabotage.
Pretty much.
Anyway, Dream Card. I'll be playing some Dream Card there.
Good luck.
Heading to New Orleans. But I could not do what Mike Mayo does, and that is eat like he ate at Shenanigans, a great sports bar, and had like their grilled wings there. I mean, like a couple of them, and you're full.
Yeah.
All right. I bought like a box home last time. Well, actually, I ordered that separately. And then he went to a barbecue joint where they just lathered him with.
Oh, well, that place is crazy. If he really went to Fat Boys, and that wasn't his last meal. Like Fat Boys, the guy gave us like platters of food. I presume he would have done the same thing for Mayo, knowing it was his birthday. Like,
and then he goes with the guy that's putting the event together tonight. This guy Dickstein. And it has like 2 more meals. Yeah. Oh yeah, Tropical Acres.
And that's heavy. Like it's great, but heavy. Like he went there for the lobster.
Lobsters. Oh yeah, and he made his daughter order a steak so he could have like a surf and turf. Yeah. What are we dealing with here, Lubie?
I don't know. I give him credit. He said it on the chat. He said, "Look, some people are amateurs and some people are pros. That's the difference between the amateurs and the pros." And I agree.
See, I have to space it out a little bit when I'm in New Orleans, especially because, like I said, it's a sodium bloodbath. It really is. You need a cardiologist. I mean, if you don't have one, you need to, have one on call. Something, right?
Well, he'd be disappointed in how we eat. Like when not even you, but I went with Shirley because neither of us we like eating different things, but we don't eat a lot. Like we would have one beignet each in the morning, and then we would have dinner. And that would be the whole day. Like we wouldn't have a middle meal. There's no room for a middle meal. Like he would have 2 more meals in there.
I'm going to say we were told, remember we were polling people before we went to New Orleans for the Super Bowl at one time. And I want to say I had been there before. Yeah, I definitely been there before. But because I did a couple of boxing matches there from when they first had the casinos in Mississippi. And I had to fly into New Orleans. And I did like a TV show there for a little while. Although I didn't spend a whole lot of time in the city. It was kind of like whisked in and out of town like a real big shot for zero money. But anyway, Mother's was one of the places people always recommended. Now, is it better for the sandwiches? Because
that's the sandwich
I would
place,
say
right?
the breakfast, which people love, a little overrated to me. A little overrated. Mother's. I don't know if people would agree with me. That's probably a very unpopular
I only
opinion.
had the po' boy there. Like that was the place we tried to take Visser Mama, and I swore was close, and it was like a 4 mile.
That's the place. Yeah. I mean, we were walking like we were walking through the Himalayas. It was unbelievable.
I had gotten turned around because from the casino, it didn't take me long to get there, but we weren't at the casino.
It's across the street. Yeah.
We were at like where we were doing Radio Row, and I figured they're the same thing. We're walking like miles.
Oh no! For the convention center,
and then to get a sub. We're like taking Visser Mama to get a waiting 20-minute line for.
That was when you ran into that coach that used to Frazier, right? That
Leslie
used to
Frazier.
coach Minnesota. Yeah.
Yep.
And what dumb question did you ask him?
I didn't ask him anything. He was sitting there, and she pointed him out. She pointed him out, and I was like, "Oh, that's Leslie Frazier. He just got fired." But we were like right next to him.
Yeah, it was good.
So you could hear him, he saying, and she just lost it. She went white. And I was like, oh my God.
He's back somewhere, isn't he? Wasn't he under consideration?
He's been at DC, and he was up for a lot of jobs.
Coaching positions, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was DC with the Bills, or he was a legitimate DC again, and he's back in the rotation to possibly get a head coaching job.
All right, this is under the heading of never count the great champions out, Mike Lubie Lubitz, all right? You following me? Never count the great champions out. They will find a way to scratch and claw their way back into things when it looks like it's otherwise hopelessly lost. Are the Tampa Bay Lightning in that category, especially this year? Never count the great ones out.
I know.
Because, see, now, if you look at the series, they're down 2-1 still, and they still have to win this next game on their home ice, which comes up tomorrow night. Last night's game, I think everybody in the world was on Tampa Bay last night.
Probably.
I they would turn it around.
Yeah,
they lose 7-0, and Vasilevsky looks like he couldn't stop a bowling ball from 2 feet away. I mean, everything's going by this guy. They were asking Cooper, the coach, after the game, if he ever thought about lifting Vasilevsky. And after the fifth goal, you would have to think, just take the guy out. He looks like a shot fighter tonight. All right, the guy's been brilliant in playoffs in the past. He's carried you to 2 Stanley Cups in a row. If you win the Stanley Cup this year, obviously it's not the solo effort of Vasilevsky, but he would have to be considered a big part of it, no? Vasilevsky, he was brilliant in a series against the Panthers. Yeah. And last night, he made some great saves. He gave up 2 goals on 2 power plays by Colorado. But I've come to believe that Colorado, after that 7-goal onslaught, obviously they are no slouch, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, to reverse the whole form of things after losing 7-0, I thought it was really great last night by the Tampa Bay Lightning. And as much you despise them for some
reason.
It's
annoying. I've grown to hate them with a passion.
Yeah, I like their team. I like their guys. Stamkos is a tremendous spokesperson and face, Steve Stamkos of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then this Kucherov always is doing something. They were saying Sean McDonough has been saying he hasn't really done much in the series, which he had 1 brilliant assist in game 1, which was lost in overtime. Think about how close this series actually is.
Yeah.
Because it could just as easily, as they say, with a pivotal game 1, have been in the Lightning's favor there, 2-1 with home ice for what could be conceivably a 3-1 lead, which you would have to think against the Lightning is next to insurmountable. But the battle that's going on there between these two teams is sensational. The first game, it looked like it was going to be all Colorado. They're up 3-1 in the game. The Lightning get 2 goals in 48 seconds. It ends up being a scoreless third period. They go to overtime, and the Avalanche score right away. Vasilevsky looked like somebody shot like holes in him. And giving up, that has to be particularly disgusting for a goalie to give up a 5-hole or through the legs goal.
Yeah, that's rough.
Which I think he had like 3 of them in that game. I mean, it was just like he was peeing in his pants, Vasilevsky. And looking down and going, whoa, look at that. I peed a puck. And it's going right over the line here. That was ugly, man. 7-zip.
That's rough. Wow.
They come back and, I mean, look how much fun it is. And I was thinking it was centuries ago, or so it seems, that the Panthers were eliminated and just completely taken out of the local public's eye. Nobody, I mean, remember how people were all fired up about this thing? This is this town, though, and probably, I don't know that it's unique here, but it certainly happens more often here in the town without pity, where people absolutely, you will not hear anything mentioned about the Florida Panthers until what? Next season, even? I mean, even early in the season, people are not going to be buying into this thing.
No, they screwed everything up. Like the fact that they actually could have built momentum if they had found a way to either beat the Lightning or been competitive. If they had beaten the Lightning, that would have been the round. Like getting by the Lightning, people would have heard team that won the last 2 cups.
And they're knocking on the door.
State, they get to the conference finals. That's when South Florida finally would have given a shit. The problem is they not only lost, they then got swept. So it's like, oh, then they suck still. No one cares.
Well, and you would have to have thought, I mean, this is hindsight, but obviously they would have faced the Rangers then in the Eastern Conference Finals.
New York,
and
South Florida thing would have been
you would have had to have thought that they would have been competitive with the Rangers, much more so than they were against Tampa Bay. But Tampa Bay, I mean, after being down 2-0 and down 2-0 in what, the second period against the Rangers in Game 3, ended up winning all 4 games, including that one where they were trailing 2-0.
Yes.
And ended up here in the finals. And then, I mean, just missed in Game 1 from pulling off what's obviously the most desirable result that you could possibly have, and that is winning on the road in the first game of a playoff series, a pivotal first game, of course. Game 2 then turned out to be pivotal also because you were pivoting in the direction of thinking, my God,
it's over.
What a bludgeoning this is going to be. That would have been the time, people. See, and this gets into my whole theory here. Never count the great champions out, okay? And if you followed this logic here, this is real pure degeneracy 101, though. But it's the new extrapolation that you have to take, where you can bet on things after they've already begun. Right? It's the old, what was that, the Carpenters? We've only just begun. No, we haven't. We haven't started this game yet. Because you can rebet.
Yes.
So what kind of odds were you getting? Colorado was a favorite to win a series to begin the series. What kind of odds were you getting on the Lightning if you took them after they were down 2-0?
I mean, that's
then
the
on
move.
top of that, hammered it home. You were pleading with Colorado to score the first goal last night, which they did inside of like no time flat.
Yeah.
They're up like 1-0. I guess they discounted the first goal, but they still went up 1-0, Colorado. And you thought, wow, here we go again. Now, if you had the faith and believed in the theory of never discount the great champions, you go straight to the account and send it in on the Lightning to win the series. No.
Well, the problem is that's what our friend Sheldon G did with the Celtics. He's like, oh, they're down. Perfect. I'm getting better odds. Well, there's a reason. Now the Celtics aren't the Lightning.
Destroy your life here on the Defo Show. Yes.
I mean, the Lightning aren't the Celtics. The Lightning have shown that have already been able to do that this playoffs. They've won 2 titles, so I get that. Yeah. I'm just saying we've already seen a guy.
Well, you didn't think they were done, right? I mean, if anything, you would have bet your lungs on the Lightning last night. No, and if you were wrong, you were wrong. But
no, last night was the move. Last night was okay. If they're going to be in this series, they have to. Well, that's the thing. They not only won, but they won big enough where now it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, it was a cakewalk, my friend. They pulled his schmink goalie who's been standing on his head. He hasn't had to stand on his head. He's been getting protected. He was exposed last night, Lubie, as a fraud.
I love when they say that.
The backup did better overall, but you had to figure Tampa Bay was coasting once they were up 5-2 in that game. No, it wasn't like it wasn't contentious early on. I mean, this Stanley Cup is a bloodbath, Lubie, a bloodbath.
Yeah, it's crazy.
To win the title. I mean, and if the Avalanche win it, then they just verified that they were the best team all along. But the Lightning going for 3 in a row. This game tomorrow night should be absolutely fascinating all the way through.
It sucks because I don't have, usually I either will hate a team so much I can root for another team. Yeah. But I don't. It's not like I like the Avalanche. Like the Avalanche are the one team the Panthers face, and they were the great team all year. Then they kept being great, so I'm sort of annoyed. So that's my problem with this series. Is it's like I'm sort of Like I don't. Well,
we've been making fun of the fact that people all of a sudden became very hockey knowledgeable. The truth is, it isn't that hard of a game to pick up, but it does help if you've sort of followed it a little bit overall. Like this Cat Maroon, who's on Tampa Bay, that guy is always in the middle of stuff. But whenever something good is happening for that team, Kucherov, the same thing. I mean, always a catalyst of anything good that happens. This was what the Polyman's assessment of a young Derek Jeter was when he called me and said, you know what, Defo? Anything good that happens to the Yankees, Jeter somehow was a part of, or so it seemed. And then there was some bitterness at the end there. He almost, what were the chances that he ended up playing for the Rays or something? 0. Remember, though? I mean, he wasn't happy. He was a little disgruntled. And I think he came here with that same grumpy attitude. No, was Jeter, I don't know that he wasn't irascible because he didn't say anything. You just had no idea what he was talking,
I think he had expectations that he would just automatically make them win. And I think that's something he could never get around. It wasn't that simple. Down here, Marlins are a disaster.
At the time we had him on, we had a great interview with Derek Jeter, who's not the most brilliant interview subject, although, certainly a lot to explore with him. But remember, and we had him on the first time there when he first got involved with the Marlins, and the radio station that we were working at, 940 Wins, was the flagship station. And we weren't one question into the interview when the phone rang in Lubie's production room and they were saying, "What is he doing?"
You asked a Steinbrenner question to start, God forbid.
Right, let's establish that this guy is, got a baseball history of somewhat, distinction, some distinction, and then we'll get into the usual, rhetoric about, well, you know what, we're going to spend money when the time comes. Time.
You can't want to spend the whole time talking about the crappy Marlins.
Yeah, well, you know what? Boring. You got that shortstop in the minors there, Derek. What do you think about that? Yeah, we're going to bring him up. No, it was ridiculous, right? I mean, how paranoid can you be? The radio stations that carry teams were always deathly afraid of the teams here in town. I don't know if that's true everywhere. Yeah. You would think that there would be a symbiotic relationship, between the flagship station for a ball club and the club itself. But I don't know why. Every station I ever worked at that had a franchise was deathly afraid of what they might think or do or say in reaction to something that was going on the air, where they're asking you to go ahead and just be, feel free to be an asshole.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, the more of an asshole you are, the more people will tune in and the more stuff we can sell. Unbelievable. And that's the way it was. But I couldn't believe it. I saw the phone ring in your production room there because obviously I had a phone bank sitting there in a room I was broadcasting from, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me, man! These guys are already upset." And I think Jeter really enjoyed that interview.
Yeah, Jeter was fine.
It's hard to get a read on Jeter because, well, it was impossible. It really was.
No, yeah, can't get a read at all. But he didn't bitch, and we never heard anything from it later. So that's why I figured he liked it.
Yeah, I think he had a good time.
It was like, what do you want? Like, okay, whatever you say.
Yeah, it wasn't like, we were turning
talk
into
Marlins,
a clown show there. Yeah.
I promise we'll talk Marlins. How much Marlins do?
How about the Marlins? All right. Well, yeah, I mean, a listless effort yesterday. They come home now and play 3 against Colorado. Is it 3? What is today? Tuesday? At what? Tuesday,
Yes.
Wednesday, Thursday against Colorado?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So a little turnaround from the Mets series, which did they lose 3 out of 4 to the Mets? They're drifting back towards, I mean, if they're not playing in anonymity now.
Yeah, they lost 3 or 4.
Yeah.
They won 1 game. They won Sunday.
Always, kind of floating near 500. I think they got within 4 games. It might have even, I don't think it was 3. 4 games of 500 after just an abysmal start to the season. And, they look like maybe they were starting to show signs of life. And all of a sudden, they're like 7, 8 games under 500 again.
Yep. Some Marlins.
Which is not pretty. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of teams that are doing well in Major League Baseball this year. And the Marlins, unfortunately, are not one of them. And this was what? This would have been about year 4 or 5 of the Jeter plan if he had stuck around.
Oh, this was year 5, right? I think this would have been year 5. I think he had done 4 years.
Almost everybody in the front office is gone.
Yeah. It's what when Mish and Geffner defended all the moves, and it was the one time where I was a little indignant. Like, we like both of them. Mish doesn't work for the team, but he would try and see where they're coming from and defended it. Geffner wasn't even trying to shill. He could see why they were making the moves, and it was like fine, but it was like, dude, do you have to get rid of all of them? Like, you have to get rid of every legit hitter. Yelich has a great deal, and he's young. Like, and you have him under control. Why would you get rid of him? They're like, well,
unloading Stanton, it was a move they had to make.
Some of them, Stanton, Ozuna, like even
the Yankees can afford to have Stanton, have a couple of bad years or whatever for the one good one he has.
But the Yelich didn't have that big deal yet, and he was happy here for the most part. So it was like. And they defended it. I was like, okay, we'll see. And well, we've seen, like Jeter's gone and they're disgruntled and they're not better.
Jose Fernandez passing probably didn't help them.
No, it's
in terms of the desire to keep a young core of players together.
Yeah.
You knew that Stanton was going to go when he signed that big contract. But you would figure that off the season he had. I don't know who'd they end up getting back in the Stanton trade. Did they get
Stan? They got nothing. The Stan was a trade. They got literally nothing that ever panned out. The Yelich, they got a bunch of names that were supposed to pan out, and not one has panned out. Rio Muto, it looked like Sixto Sanchez was gonna pan out, and there you go.
What a flame out that is, huh?
And the only one that worked was the trade they never talk about, Ozuna, because they got Alcantara. And Alcantara turned out to be one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Sure. I mean, that turned out to be Lou Brock for Ernie Broglio in reverse. All right, we're coming back. I started to say before, I don't think I ever got to it, though. We were talking about the Marlins broadcast, and I was watching a few innings.
Yeah, you never talked about the broadcast.
Okay, so, I'm going to say this, and I don't mean this in any kind of disrespectful or harmful way, but just my own personal opinion as a guy that rates broadcasts and broadcasters. The telecast without Todd Hollandsworth on it is immeasurably better for some reason. It's addition by subtraction here. They got rid of the commentator, Todd Hollandsworth, who seemed like a very decent human being, probably the nicest guy you'll ever meet, very gracious. But, man, I mean, he just never stopped yapping about, like, just almost nonsensical theoretical stuff after every pitch.
Yep.
And there are a lot of guys that do that, so he's probably not alone, but the other guys seem to be, Tommy Hutton's back on some broadcasts.
Thank God.
Had a little text exchange with Tommy yesterday. Always good to hear from Tommy Hutton. He's in Colorado right now. We're just enjoying a good life here.
Nice.
World's healthiest and youngest looking 70-something-year-old man I've ever seen.
Yes, he's in great shape. Oh, my God.
And they have another guy now doing a broadcast and a couple of others they're mixing color men in different games. I guess each of them have like a certain number of games, and it's a lot better. It just is. I don't know. I don't need that constant analysis and theoretical stuff after every pitch, it's not that interesting.
Oh, that's why they got rid of Hollingsworth. Like they made a decision to get rid of him, and I give them credit. Like they were premature with Hutton because he was doing his job. Like he was.
No, he was great, Tommy. Everybody loved him.
They just got weird, and they finally slowly worked back, admitting that they were wrong. Hollingsworth was an overcorrection.
Wow, that was a curveball right in the eye, man. That was Herb Score getting hit with a line drive every time the guy started talking about all of this existential stuff about Major League Baseball, and it was just all meaningless.
Yeah, it's baseball.
Verbal. What would that be? I mean, just talking for the sake of it, like we're doing here. All right, we're coming back with more. Now we have to keep the ball in the air there. In a ball game, after every pitch, you don't necessarily need to find out. Well, you know what, the wind currents today. I tell you what, like Tim McCarver on steroids. Hey, the composition of the dirt there behind home plate might have affected his ability to bunt. No, the guy just missed a bunt there. That's all. He can't bunt because he never tried it before in his career. I mean, made me bring that up. All right, we're coming back with more, but listless effort there, and quickly, just buried in anonymity, the Miami Marlins this year. Do you have any inclination to go to a game? We'll be here in our hometown. None, right?
Eric, because we used to get tickets, and it was great. Eric actually brought it up yesterday, and I was like, I wouldn't even know. I probably could reach out to someone. I probably could still get us tickets. I haven't even thought about it. Like, it hasn't even dawned on me to be like, let's go to South Miami to watch this team be boring.
Schlep all the way down there, and the worst of rush hour traffic. I mean, all the complaints that people had, like I'm now a proponent of. No, I don't know. I mean, if I'm at a game there, I usually enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fine. I enjoy the
going to sporting events. But I'm limited now to the point where I think of like one event a year, and that is making sure that Mustang gets to the Patriots game.
Oh, yeah.
Right, which is a season opener this year.
There you go.
I have to put in a call to Anna down at Deal Volkswagen and see if that deal is still good. All right, that was a great one, man. I mean, you roll right in there. You're parking in front of Stephen Ross, right? You're driving there with the Deal Volkswagen parking pass, and Stevie's limousine is like 2 cars back. It's fantastic. Good seats too. I mean, a nice angle to see a football game. Patriots this year, opener against the Miami Dolphins. Let's go, Segredo on this. How did the Dolphins not win that game?
It should be hot as hell. They should be freaking out.
Right?
Remember? Look what it is right now. Like, it feels like it's mid-August right now. So
I played a little tennis last night, man. It was Schwitz City. There's
I don't know how you do
that.
Yeah. We literally, I'm not joking. We sat outside at a restaurant, and we usually do when we do these brunches when I'm with her family. We're there 3 hours. We do bottomless, the whole thing. We were there for less than an hour. And they're all from the Dominican Republic. Like they don't mind when it's hot out. And in less than an hour, they're like, "Yeah, we can't do this." And I was just sitting, so I don't know how you do it.
That's a forewarning for this coming Saturday because you walk outside the casino there at Harrah's.
Oh my God!
Nice. I mean, basically freezing air conditioning, and it's sweltering outside. I mean, with like 100% humidity. You want to dive off if you take one of those riverboat rides. You just want to dive into the muddy Mississippi and end it. Never mind the buffet. All right, we're coming back with more. We're having a lot of fun here on the show. But don't discount the Lightning. Wouldn't that would have been a move, would it not? Hey, Andy, I mean, come on. How did you not do that? You're a gambler. You're a hedge fund guy.
Well, the stock market sort of fucked him the last 2 weeks. I think he's taking
You wait. I mean, this is the new game now. You have to wait until your team is in such dire straits.
That's
such an ugly position. They're getting hammered on the ropes here. And that's when you unload, if you like a team. All right? So the Lightning, we'll see. This theory will be now tested. And I'm assuming, now it's not a fair assumption, though. Does Colorado, are they that good that they just bounce back? They shrug this one off?
I think so.
Their goalie looked like he was blind in one eye, which a lot of people were saying going into this thing. And if they had some kind of an enigma there on the team that could possibly plague them, it was going to be the goalie. And, that turned out to be the case last night. He wasn't very effective, that's for sure. But Tampa Bay stepped it up. I mean, they were a different team than they were certainly in Game 2. And throughout most of Game 1, they actually were getting badly outplayed, I thought, in Game 1 of that series by Colorado, but happened to be in a 3-3 tie because they had the two goals in a short period of time, one of which was, just kind of a funky one where the guy shot the puck from the blue line. And, it went through like a maze of 6 bodies, and somehow they expected the goalie to stop it. But, and to their credit, Colorado bounced back, held them at bay, and then ended up winning the game. So we'll see what happens. But that was interesting stuff last night, certainly. And you would see some highlights. Your boy Vasilevsky made a couple of really sensational recovery saves on rebounds, where he made a stop on one side of the goal and then somehow gets like the tip of a skate as a shot comes in at like 120 miles an hour on the other side. Just really good stuff. All right, back with more in a moment here on the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz, brought to you by Hialeah Park, of course, and Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill and all of our fine sponsors. We'll return in a moment. Now that.
The time.
Did we resolve that whole thing with Title IX? By the way, it's 8:51.
Folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you?
The lovely Debbie Boone joins us here. The song You Light Up My Life. And it's one of those songs that, well, at least for some period of time, I think in virtually every human being, no matter what language they speak, that it was in their head for a period of time. To the point where everybody walked around with that You Light Up My Life on their mind, right? Which has to be a sensational tribute and distinction for anybody that's in the music business.
Well, for the most part, yes. And I am very, very grateful. But a few people did want to break that vinyl over my head.
Here's your record, Debbie. I'm using it as a Frisbee. What are you talking about?
Buenos dias. The cafecito is piping hot. Why not enjoy it with Defo and Lubie? It's now time for the Defo Show.
A Jersey girl there, Debbie Boone, of course, the daughter of Pat Boone. Yeah. You Light Up My Life, man. That's a song you don't want to get stuck. I mean, if that's playing in your head, you want to end your life. I mean, you really do. You light up my life. Yeah, na, na, na. I get into these patterns where certain songs are in my head, very small pieces of them while I'm doing the walk of life. And every now and then, one of those gets in there, and you're thinking to yourself, hey, let me just take a right at the pier and keep on walking. All right, NBA draft, Lubie, I'm surprised you haven't gotten more deeply into this.
It's a shitty draft.
Is Paolo Banchero going to be the number 1 overall pick of the Orlando Tragic? What do you think?
Maybe.
Paolo Banchero.
Okay, well, the thing is they have Suggs, who they drafted top 10 last year, and he was sort of underwhelming, but he was high school teammates with Chet Holmgren. They won 3 national titles together in high school. So he is that big that can take it outside, but is a legitimate big that can play in the interior. So you would think that they're probably going to go with Holmgren paired with Suggs. That's what the professor and I have talked a lot about. It's not a guarantee.
Do you believe that there are certain guys that do mock drafts for a living and or attempt to do mock drafts and have major platforms like CBS Sportsline that they just they go out there and make selections based purely on the ability to irritate people. Because this particular mock draft that I was looking at has Chet Holmgren going 6th overall.
Yeah, that's
6th.
Unless he's totally screwed everything up. I don't see how that happens. Who are the 4 guys going? Banchero,
Banchero, number 1. Jabari Smith, number 2. Shaden Sharp of Kentucky, number 3.
No.
Benedict Mathurin, is that it? He's in there. Yeah. He's in there, number 4. Oh, Chet Holmgren. Yeah, they had him 6. They had somebody else even in between Holmgren.
Smith is legit too. I could see Smith actually might have the highest ceiling of those 3 guys. Like Banchero's has question marks. Holmgren, the size is a major question mark. Smith is probably the most guy that probably has the best potential. Again, I don't know. The Jalen Suggs thing to me with Holmgren is a nice, but I don't know anyone else.
A 7-footer who can handle the basketball, which this Holmgren can. But is he going to get the snot beaten out of him? Yep. Doing any kind of inside work in the NBA.
Because that's the thing is Durant was thin, but even when you look at Durant, he wasn't there. Like the dude is like Manute Bol type shit. Like Chet Holmgren is really thin. Like even
Skinny.
in the college game,
he looked very weak.
Never mixed it up at all. Like,
yeah. And I don't know. I mean, the conference that Gonzaga plays in, even though St. Mary's is in there, it's not like you're in there banging heads with people in the ACC every night.
No, it sucked. That's why I was like, okay, in the tournament they're going to go deep. What does he do in the tournament? He averaged like 8
or the SEC for that matter. Yeah.
No, is it no other? The Big Ten's great in basketball. Yeah, it's a disaster, but it's fine. They'll go to the tournament. He'll shine in the tournament. No, he was horrible in the tournament. Like he was useless. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, you get to see Mark Few make that face again, frustration.
He did that a lot.
Which, I mean, that face of defeat on Mark Few is just like, I can't believe it. We failed again. Now, it's impossible to deem Mark Few a failure. He happens to be obviously one of the most successful coaches and must know what he's doing because he has gotten Gonzaga into the national spotlight to the extent that they were like the number 1 team most of the season, Gonzaga. Yes. And perennially are regarded as one of the top teams in the country, and he brings in these guys. I mean, Holmgren scoring him as a recruit was significant for a one-and-done situation, right? Do you think Calipari was a little bit upset with that? What? Yeah, you going with that loser, Few? You know what we got here? Are you kidding me? You know what we got here now? We have name, image, and license.
Yeah, likeness.
A likeness, yeah.
License.
We have a license to steal is what we have.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. That was a lot of fun today. It was very refreshing having the young Silver Knight recipients, Maya Moyes and Carlos Morales on the program here today. That was fantastic. Yeah, you know what, Lubie, that was very encouraging. I mean, would you say the majority of kids are more along those lines or along the lines of, once I was a schlepper and I'm always going to be one?
When I talk to my friends who do have kids in high school, they're not on this path. So they're good kids. I love them, but they're not.
What dedication.
Kids nowadays are very apathetic.
You think they're just expecting a free ride the rest of the way? Like that feeling of entitlement is set in? Because, it's not going to be an easy world. That's the thing that my grandchildren are facing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how much money is it going to take just to be an average person? After inflation goes to 100% before the end of the year. Everything is double. They should just do that now. Wouldn't that be the solution? I should be the head of the economy here. Okay, everything from the gas will be $10, right? But that's it. It's not going any higher, in the next 30 years.
Never goes up ever, yeah.
There you go. Now deal with it. All right? You need to make more money? Make more money. Go out there and find a way.
I'd rather that not happen, but okay. I guess go back to like 2-something for sure.
Probably a few flaws in that concept there, but just make everything double, right? You go buy a can of soup, it was $1.99, and now it's
$4.
$3.98. Everything just doubles in price. In fact, they ring up the old prices and they just double it and they ask you for the money. That would be the way it goes. Restaurant, you go out, the check's $100, now it's $200.
I don't like this at all.
But at least you know what you're dealing with. You don't have to sit there and agonize. Oh my God, what are we going to do? I thought the federal tax on gasoline per gallon was like way higher than like 18 cents. How much money is the government going to lose, though? How are we going to fund this infrastructure deal and all of the billions that we're, doling out all over the place if they don't collect this money? Because think about it. It's got to be a substantial portion of federal tax money when they're taxing gasoline at 18 cents a gallon. I mean, think about that. Every gallon of gas that's bought anywhere in the country, the government's siphoning off 18 cents.
I'm sure they're very happy that is.
But, I mean, if they do this tax holiday, I mean, something's got to give there, right? I mean, is the government going to run out of money?
That's always the problem, and that's
there goes
why
Social Security, right? That's all I'm concerned about. I want my check.
Whatever. I don't.
Don't be messing with Medicare, Donnie Trump. Don't be messing with that. You think DeSantis that'll be his first move when he's president to eliminate Medicare? And
they love going after
Security?
Medicare and Social Security. They love going after that, and it doesn't solve anything.
And while they're screaming about, hey, we can never, zero down or limit the rights of your Second Amendment, freedoms there, right to bear arms. We can take every other freedom and possible, distinction that makes this country great away from you, and not even think twice about it, right?
Yes. That's the conflicting and confusing part. We want less government, but we actually want to stop you from doing things more.
From everything, yeah.
Well, that's called more government, not less government.
All right. Well, that's a pleasant thought to end the show.
It's fun.
We're doomed. People were doomed.
Might as well watch a game.
Just sit there and scream, come on, go get him, Johnny. Right?
Might as well just ignore it.
Yeah, no, what a world. I mean, it's really going to be rough. So my economic idea is probably, not that wise to pursue. I'm not going to bring it up to anybody in the cabinet right now. All right, we're going to see you guys tomorrow at 7 in the morning, and we'll have Tony Segreto with us going old school. So that's always a lot of fun. Tony Segreto, old school, brought to you by Texas Roadhouse Restaurants, Catholic Health Services. We'll also see you at lunchtime with Mike Mayo, and I'm hoping Mayo was, restricted his intake of food here. No? Today, I'm going to watch him at this event tonight. And
he's going to be working. This is a big thing he's involved in, so I'm hoping he's working it and not focusing on eating.
Yeah, he kind of sloughs around there. It doesn't look like he's eating, but somehow he ends up eating like 3 meals. It's incredible. But this is his game. I mean, this is really going to be something here tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. And the lunchbox, 12 o'clock. We'll have more details on that because the public, I believe, can attend. So any of you guys want to come out there and help launch this app about Del Rey, Best of Del Rey. With Dick Steen, who seems like I can't wait to hang out with Dick Steen. That's going to be
I haven't actually met him. I just have heard a lot about him. He seems like a fun guy.
I only met him to the extent of he was sitting at a table at an event that we went to, which was a great event. I mean, really well run. This meatballs and tennis balls thing that they had up at the Delray Beach Tennis Center. And, you could tell right away this was a good guy because all the people around him were having a good time and they seemed to, be interacting very well and having a lot of laughs. And that was his staff. So I'm thinking if that's how the staff is, I mean, where do you find that, right? What company? I mean, where everybody's having a good time and they all love the boss. Very rare. So Dick Steen must be a good guy. Looking forward to meeting him tonight. I believe Joe Casal, the former sports agent, and he's involved in some kind of sporting life, from a business standpoint still. So I think he's also going to be in attendance. So come on out, people, and check out the lunchbox. We'll have all the details about this big event tonight. All right, we'll see you tomorrow at 7 in the a.m. I'm Jeff DeForest. He's Mike Lubie Lubitz. South Florida Live. Tell your friends about it. Glad things are working out so well, Lubie, because I wasn't sure that it was going to happen this way, but so far, so good. And we'll see you tomorrow at 7 as we leave. You know that.
The time.
9:04.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.